what's up? My name is John Bonjour. I am a comic artist and film enthusiast. I have drawn some art, and I would love to enthuse about some film. Today, we are discussing Fantastic Four: First Steps. Cannot believe this movie's out. Okay, so before we get into any of that, there's a quick thing that I want to mention because I have been thinking about this channel a lot and how I want to go forward with it, what I want to do with it. I've been feeling a little burnt out on it, trying to record a video about every movie I see, trying to have an opinion about every movie I see. Very often, I feel like I'm making these videos and I always end up feeling like I'm just saying, I don't know, it's fine, it's fine. Like, a lot of movies are fine, and there's nothing wrong with that. That being said, I am not really trying to review movies for a living. I'm not trying to review movies all the time. I want to talk about art and movies and how those two things collide. So if it's great, I want to talk about it, and if it's bad, I want to talk about it. And even if it's fine, but in a way that's discussable, I want to talk about it. I think I'm going to be a little more selective on the videos that I make on this channel, just because I'm getting tired of feeling the burden of making a video on a movie that I don't necessarily have a lot of feelings about. That being said, it's kind of ironic because this month has not been that at all. This month has been an absolute blast with Jurassic Park, Superman, and now Fantastic Four. I'm also not gonna try to talk about every possible thing in the movie or show that I could ever have to talk about. I'm trying to do movie reviews, right? But I'm not trying to do fully comprehensive, complete reviews of the entire film. I want to play around a little more, I guess is what I'm saying. I want to have some fun. On with the show. Fantastic Four: First Steps. Really quick, non-spoiler thoughts, and then I'm just gonna dive into spoilers because I just want to talk about the movie. Non-spoilers. This is about as great as it could possibly be. Like, there are a few things, pacing-wise especially, that I think don't 100% work. There's moments that I wish they'd kind of lingered on. There's a couple of characters that don't feel like they get a whole ton to do, minus a couple of cool little action sequency bits. But overall, the movie is fantastic. Well, I don't want to be one of those people. I'm better than that. Overall, the movie is exceptional. The Fantastic Four themselves, their family dynamic is so well developed. It feels so natural and collected and fun. I love the way that Ben and Johnny interact. I love the way actually, you know what? I can tell that they've done a good job with these character dynamics because I love the way that each character interacts with every other character. All of them have a cross-section, all of them interact in different ways, and they all feel right to me. I'm so jazzed that this even exists in this way. When we saw the trailers with the whole retro-futuristic aesthetic, I was a little bit like unsure that they were going to be able to stick with it, and honestly I thought we were going to see a little bit of that and then hop into the other universe and get them into the MCU and whatever. And I guess this is technically a spoiler, but I feel like it's worth noting this has almost nothing to do with the MCU, other than that it is obviously a Fantastic Four movie, it is obviously a superhero movie, and it's in the multiverse of the MCU. Very little of this movie has literally anything to do with the MCU proper, the Earth 616. Don't even get me started on the numbering of the Earths. I can't get into that right now. But this does have very little to do with Earth 616, and it is so much better off for it. This feels like a movie instead of feeling like a piece of the puzzle to get us to a thing, which is awesome and a little bit surprising and kind of threw me off at first. And I look forward to seeing how it plays on the second viewing, because the first viewing, I was really expecting this to be a lot more important to, say, Avengers Doomsday. Not that it isn't important to Avengers Doomsday, I'm sure it will be, but it's not a prequel to Avengers Doomsday. Like, it's not setting anything up necessarily for that. It is just really interested in being a movie about these specific characters that I love with all of my heart. There's so much of this movie that works. It is exceptionally fun, and I highly recommend going to see it if you haven't already. To go see Superman and Fantastic Four, they would be an incredible doubleheader if you haven't seen both of those. I'm gonna just dive right into spoilers because I really want to talk about so many things in this movie. Before that, I just really quick want to say, I have a free comic on my website, johnbonart.com. It is called Edge of Border Town, and it rips the beans clean off the seams, if you know what I mean. It's a really great comic. I'm really proud of it, and it's free. So if you like comic books, which I assume you do because you're watching a Fantastic Four video, go read my comic, Edge of Border Town, again on my website, johnbonart.com. I feel like I've had so many words, and I'm not even close to talking about everything that I want to talk about. So let's dive into some spoilers. The first thing that I think is most important to talk about is that this movie does not treat its characters gently. And I don't mean that in the sense that like they do horrible things to them or anything like that. Although there is that bit where Reed got stretched by Galactus, and that really hurt to watch. That was upsetting in a number of ways. But what I mean by that is they're not very precious about the characterization of these characters staying true to exactly what we expect it to be. They get the core of these characters right. Ben is the ever-loving blue-eyed thing. He is the heart of the movie. He is lovable. He loves the people around him, but he's also a little more sarcastic than he is in some of the comics, and he's a little bit sadder than he is in some of the comics. Like, they use him as an actual character, not just sticking the guy we know from the comics into a movie, and I think that's incredible. They also do that with Johnny. Johnny is a very different character from a lot of the comics. He's not this womanizing a-hole. He is a playboy for sure. He's very flirty with a lot of people, including Shia LaBeouf, which is hilarious. I appreciate that he is not a dickhead in this. The Chris Evans Johnny Storm is wonderful. He just doesn't fit in this kind of movie. There's a heart and a kindness to this movie. There's a genuineness to this film. The way that the Earth treats realizing about Galactus in this story is very, very different from any other Fantastic Four kind of movie or thing we've seen. It takes a lot from the comic Life story, which is phenomenal. If you haven't read that comic, I think it is genuinely worth checking out, especially if you like this movie, because they pull a lot from that. But it's not a direct adaptation. There's a lot of differences. It's kind of like Superman for All Seasons for Superman. It's not one for one, but they pull a lot of the vibe out of it. But in that universe where the entire Earth collectively gets together and works together, and it's this beautiful moment, having Johnny be this really completely sarcastic, just kind of D-bag wouldn't really work. In the same way, Reed, probably the most faithful to his character in the comics, but even him, he's a little kinder than he is in the comics. Reed is very often the cold-hearted, calculating guy who eventually realizes his mistake. This Reed feels like he is balancing those two in a way that's way more interesting. He feels like he's trying not to be that guy the entire movie. And I think that's significantly more intriguing as a character than a guy who is just a jerk until he's not a jerk. There's something fun about those kinds of comics where Reed has to go to the limits and stretch those boundaries just so that he can say he did. That is an interesting read, and I think this could be a version that does those kinds of things. The Council of Reeds is not out of the question for this. That said, I think it's more interesting for this version of the character. He even has a line where he's like, "There's something wrong with me. There always has been. And I want you, Franklin, who we'll get to be better than I am." I love that he is a tender-hearted, very calculating, makes some mistakes kind of guy. Like, he feels the weight of responsibility of his brain in a way that I think is very interesting. And lest we forget Susan Storm, who I don't think has ever been portrayed better. I legitimately don't. I've been thinking about this a lot because I like this character. Sue Storm is very interesting. She's got a lot of really cool qualities. Her being a diplomat is always really cool. I like when that happens in the comics. Her being an extremely powerful superhero is also very fun. Sometimes the comics are able to balance those two, but very, very often the balance of those two things kind of makes the writers forget that she's also a human being with human being emotions. And this is not a version of that does that. She is wrong sometimes. She is conflicted a lot of the time. She has her own personal problems. She's just a human character, which is really nice to see because there's this trend, especially in superheroes, where you have, say, a Captain Marvel who is supposed to be just the god of the universe, and she kind of doesn't really make a lot of mistakes, especially in the first one. The second one kind of does a better job of characterizing her a little bit more. But there's this tendency to want to write women superheroes, for whatever reason, as perfect characters that have no flaws and can always make the right call and do everything right. And I love that Sue is a person who gets legitimately angry at her husband multiple times in this movie. And not out of hatred, not because she's trying to make him stupid or anything like that, but because he is frustrating as a person, and she gets frustrated as a person. I love this characterization of Sue. I think they did a wonderful job with her. There's that moment where she realizes that A, Reed wants to use Franklin as bait for Galactus, and B, it's kind of the only way to do it, and she just has like a panic attack and has to get out of there, and I think it is really genuinely one of the best scenes in the movie. I'm talking about the heart of this movie so much, and I feel like the best way to highlight that is that this opens up not with a big, huge Fantastic Four action sequence where they fight the Mole Man or anything like that, but with a slow, quiet scene where Sue tells Reed that she's pregnant and they have family dinner, and it's this really sweet, beautiful, tender, quiet moment to start this movie. And then we jump into all the cool superhero action, and there's plenty of it. Like, it is an action-filled movie, but more than that, it's a Fantastic Four movie because it's a family-focused film, and I am in love with that. I was not expecting that to be true. We had heard some rumors about test screenings that were saying, oh yeah, the family dynamics don't really work. The CGI is kind of bad. All of these are criticisms that were leveled at this movie. And I think all of them are categorically stupid to say. Like, if that was genuine, if that was even a real test screening, and someone had that opinion, and it was this version of the movie, who knows, maybe they changed some stuff. But if it was this version of the movie, that's exactly why we don't trust test screenings, because it's stupid. That's a stupid opinion. Like, that's insane. The idea of going out of this movie and feeling like, oh yeah, none of it really worked. I wasn't into the characters, and also the action wasn't good, is categorically crazy to me, because I think every part of this works on all of those cylinders. To the point that my only complaint about the film is that I wish it were longer and had a little bit more in it. Like, I wish that we were able to linger in these moments of tension between the Fantastic Four themselves, between the Fantastic Four and the world. It feels like we had to go through a lot of those pretty quick, because the first half of the movie is a fun action sci-fi romp. And the sci-fi, by the way, is awesome. Galactus is crazy. He is a Jack Kirby creation brought to screen in so many ways. Just the ridiculousness of him, yes, but all the tubes and the wiring and the big chunky pieces, and he is a love letter to Jack Kirby's art in a way that I think is just incredible. Even it's beautiful having the 818 universe, because I think that's what it was. No, maybe that's not right. Anyway, being connected to Jack Kirby's birthday, I love that. I think that's fantastic. Stop it. No, I think that's beautiful. But I do wish we were able to linger on some of those moments a little bit longer. I wish we had a few more moments of them kind of existing. I know there was John Malkovich was going to be in this at one point, and I think he was playing Red Ghost, and I wish we had gotten that. I mean, I just can't think of a reason we wouldn't get that. Like, that seems like something that would be fun and cool to have in this movie, but maybe it didn't fit. I mean, that's always possible, but maybe it would have felt more like the Barry Keoghan Joker in the Batman, where you're like, sure, man, I guess you're here. Like, that could have been what this feels like. I think it is a shame to lose that, because that is a fun character and would have been a fun interpretation of that character. Speaking of characters that I think don't get a whole ton to do, Shia LaBeouf, the Silver Surfer, is so cool. She is exuding aura. She's giving aura. Is that what the kids say? She's aura farming. Is that something? Anyway, she's one of the coolest characters put to screen. Silver Surfer is obviously an incredibly cool character across the board. This is a very, very good version of the Silver Surfer. Shia LaBeouf looks radical. She has some really fun surfing scenes. Like, she gets to surf on lava and some clouds in a building at one point, I think. And she gets very, very cool powers, and they feel powerful, and the sound design on her is so cool. And my only complaint is that it feels like she's kind of missing for the back third of the movie. Like, the last third of the movie, the last act of the movie, feels like it's kind of missing Shia LaBeouf and that's a little bit sad. Other than, I mean, obviously, like, the end of the movie, she sacrifices herself to stop Galactus. She could come back. You know, like, we don't have to be done with this character. She could totally come back. Galactus could also come back, which is fun. That's cool. I like that it's not just go punch Galactus. I appreciate that there was more to it than that. There was some science involved in defeating him. That was really fun. But she did sacrifice herself at the end, and that was a beautiful moment, and I think it was really good. Her scene with Johnny is really good. So I guess what I'm saying is I just want there to be more. I don't even know where I would have put her in the movie, so maybe that isn't even a complaint. I want them to do more with that character, because she's really, really cool. And maybe we'll just do a Silver Surfer movie. How's that sound? You want to do that? Let's do that. Okay, Kevin, you want to make that, please? I'm begging you. Fantastic Four First Steps is a comic book movie through and through. It is a Fantastic Four movie through and through, and it is a family movie. It's also a sci-fi, action, adventure, comedy, drama. It's got a lot going on in this. There's so much happening. The effects look really, really good. The Thing is brought to life perfectly. He is tender and emotional, which is hard to do for a big rocks man. I love a rocks man, and this is my favorite version of our little guy. This is my favorite version of the coolest rocks character we have. So I guess that's my thoughts on Fantastic Four First Steps. The title's still kind of dumb, but it feels a little kitschy, and I can work with it. It feels like something that this universe would have. I am excited to see where they go. I don't know. That's the other thing that I haven't talked about. The Doom post-credit scene. It's like kind of nothing. I've heard some people that are really upset about it. I've heard some people that absolutely love it. I am fully in neither of those camps. Like I saw it and I went, okay, I guess, sure. Dr. Doom, there he is, a green cloak. Like it's cool to see him for the first time. I'm not sure what any of that means. Are we supposed to interpret that Franklin is like connected to him? Are they just swapping out the Kang character? Is it going to be a descendant of Reed Richards? Who knows, to be honest with you. And also, who cares? Because that scene, that A, is not really the point of the movie, and B, doesn't do anything. Like, I guess Dr. Doom exists. Not really shocking. Like, there's honestly not that much that you can fully spoil from this because there aren't any massive cameos. There's no crazy twist. It's just a good movie with good characters that sets out to do a good thing, and it does a good thing. But yeah, I have no strong opinion about the Doom post-credit scene. I'm not sold on Dr. Doom as the villain for the Avengers right now. Like, that feels weird in this moment. That feels like we're kind of jumping the gun on some things. But maybe they'll prove me wrong. I don't know. I really don't know. Like, we'll see how Doomsday goes. This didn't make me more excited for Doomsday in the sense that it's like I just don't know anything more, and so it doesn't really change my opinion on where I'm at with that. But I'll tell you what, it certainly didn't make me less excited about Doomsday because I'm excited to see these characters show up again, so that's something, I guess. I think that's just about all I got for you. I loved Fantastic Four First Steps. I cannot wait to watch it again. A bunch of times, so many times in a theater. I can't wait to own it. This has jumped very, very, very quickly to one of my favorite MCU movies of all time. And it's been an absolute month for comic book movies, quite honestly. And I'm probably gonna make a video about that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. In the meantime, what did you think of the Fantastic Four First Steps? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this video and checking out my channel. If you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on movies, comics, TV shows, other stuff, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and comment down below what you'd like me to review next. Or do none of that because I am not your dad.